Boom. Welcome back. It's your best friends. It's Austin.
It's Sean.
And we're in person again.
Yep.
So this is
still have ears.
Oh yes, two of them actually.
New place.
Still one piercing, 0.5 piercings per me, and one piercing per Sean.
One piercing per Sean.
Yeah.
Technically two. If you think
Two.
about it.
And we're in front of the drum set, and this is sitting on a quad pad, and there's a bass drum behind, and there's a set of quads over there. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in your best friend studios.
That's exactly right. And I got Devin Dwyer's favorite chair. So Devin, if you're watching, it's the flowery chair just for you, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah. Hope the audio's good. It's a little echoey, but it'll be okay.
Yeah, we're working on the setup, but I mean, the normal, like what we've been doing and what we're going to continue to do for a while is to do this thing online, virtually, and we're going to hopefully get to a more consistent setup with that, with both of us having a microphone. But eventually, like we said in the past, we're going to do this thing in person and hopefully have a studio where we can make that happen.
It's going to be a good time.
It is going to be a good time.
I mean, Sean can't move that far away.
That's right.
This is my master plan, just to keep him around.
Dang,
Yeah,
you got me.
That's exactly right.
Well,
That's it.
I don't know.
For our 18 subscribers. By the way, there are a lot more unique viewers than there are subscribers. So me and Sean were talking about just inflation and stuff. And you know how much it costs to subscribe? How much do you think it costs, Sean?
$0.
$0.
No dollars.
That's a deal right there.
That is a
Content
deal.
for $0.
Can you imagine?
Entertainment for $0.
Imagine being reminded that like something you enjoy watching is just popping up on your feed for no money.
for free,
Free,
bro.
dude. Oh my god.
And YouTube's such a great platform.
And it is a great
If anyone
platform.
didn't know, Google owns YouTube. They bought them 3 years ago. But anyway, yeah.
Forget about that sometimes. How much shit Google owns?
Dude, so much.
Google Drive, YouTube, Google Maps.
Yeah, and right now they're heavily integrated with our company, and it's
That's right.
we're trying to get away from that.
Right. What's our company?
They're cloudmusicsuite.com, sponsored by Cloud Music Suite since 1902, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 1902. We've been around for a while. Virtual music
lessons since 1902.
Online music lessons since 1902. Well, people just were internet deniers for a long time, and now they're not.
Exactly. Just like people are coming to terms with the fact that the world is flat.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The world is flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you didn't know the Earth is flat, now you know.
Exactly.
So, no need for evidence, but it is.
This is it.
Yeah,
Your best friend's information.
that's exactly right.
Knowledge.
Classic. All right, you have an article.
I do.
That's
Let's
what you said.
start out with an article. All right, I have two, and I'm going to read you. Oh,
For anyone that doesn't know,
Yep.
if you're new, if this is your first time, welcome. We're happy to have you. But each person shares an article that the other person hasn't seen. So I have not seen this article. On odds, I do the article. On evens, Sean does the article.
That's right.
So it's an even. It's number 8. So Sean's going to do an article.
that's right. I have two, and I'm going to read you the names of them, and I want you to choose which one.
I'm excited.
I think one is more just like, what's the word? Like shocking, weird, like, I don't want to say lighthearted, but it's like not,
Yeah.
it's not like politically charged or anything. The other one, I guess it could be, so I'll just read you that. So the first one is, the Orbeez challenge is causing harm in parts of Georgia and Florida police. In Florida, police warn.
Causing harm.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty vague. But I guess that's their purpose.
The quote Orbeez challenge.
Oh, okay. I think I know what this is.
The other one is, after years of rivalry, Uber puts NYC taxi cabs on its app.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yes.
Um,
So that one's a little bit more straightforward. Less,
I have to choose?
less vague. I mean, we could go through both of them if you really want to.
I'm thinking I want to hear the Orbeez one. It's just more vague. Like, it's more of a clickbait title, and they got me. So clickbait title wins, and you have to give a website review. Every time we do an article, we give a review of the website. So what's the website?
So this is npr.org, which I believe was the second article that we had on the podcast was an NPR article.
I think so too.
At least on the iPad. It's looking pretty good. It's like
Oh,
6 out of 10. Like
6
It's
out of 10?
yeah, it's like
That's
not
the highest so far.
It's the highest so far. It's not slow at all. There's no like video or anything, like no pop-ups. I don't even see that. I see one ad. No, 2 ads.
Two ads.
So not like in your
But
face.
it's not like great structure. Like, you
Not
don't know what you're supposed to be
slow.
reading? Or you do know what you're supposed to be reading?
I would say you do know what you're supposed to be reading. So I'd
Bump
say
it
it's
up to a
6.
7?
Yeah, I'd bump it up to a 7.
7. There
7.
we go. NPR is in the lead so far with a 7 out of 10
That's right.
for website design.
That's right.
All right.
All right, so the Orbeez challenge. There has been the Tide Pods challenge, the
right.
Kylie Jenner lip challenge, and the cinnamon challenge, and now it's the Orbeez challenge.
Dude.
So the latest viral social media trend is gaining traction in TikTok and has police across the U.S. warning their communities of the potential dangers. I haven't really read fully this article, so I'm not sure what the Orbeez challenge is. Influencing people to shoot the soft gel Orbeez balls at citizens with a gel ball gun or airsoft gun. So you know what Orbeez are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People will like fill their whole pool up with them. You seen the videos?
Yeah, well, they like jump in.
Yeah, my nephew, like first time he saw our backyard, he was like, "Oh my god,
you can put Orbeez in there."
I was like, theoretically, yes.
Yeah, you definitely could. But yeah, so they have like a little picture here. The toy gel ball gun was collected from a 19-year-old who was shooting an Amazon delivery driver.
A 19-year-old.
Yeah. So
that's an adult.
That's an adult.
It's probably assault, actually.
At that point, yeah. So yeah, basically, I guess the Orbeez challenge is taking these small little gel balls and shooting other people with.
I think you can't call it like a social media challenge if it's also called assault.
Yeah, I don't.
It's just assault.
The other ones are like, I mean, like the Tide Pods challenge. These are all things you do to yourself, and the gel balls challenge is just like.
You're just
shooting
people.
You're
just being a horrible person. Yeah.
Dude, I remember.
It should be called being a menace challenge.
The being a menace challenge. Yeah, how horrible of a person you could be on camera.
Probably pretty horrible.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like, was it like middle school when my middle school years when like some of those challenges were coming out, just like the cinnamon.
Did you guys
challenge.
hear that? That was fucking disrespectful.
Okay, we're not that different.
He said, yeah, my middle school years when you were already an old man.
Because you're so old. Yeah. I mean, you were in high school when I was in middle school?
We'll just not talk about it. Probably.
Alright. Well, anyway, when I was in middle school, yeah, they were doing like the cinnamon challenge, which was just like take a spoonful of
and
cinnamon.
you can't swallow it.
Yeah.
You'll like throw up or
nobody could do it.
Nobody could do it.
I remember the gallon of milk challenge was a thing too, where you had to drink like a gallon of milk in like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something.
What?
Yeah.
No, I've heard the Go Mad diet. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that.
Gallon of milk a day.
That was like a fad for a lot of like bodybuilders for a while, wasn't it?
And then they would like eat a bunch of peanut butter and then wash it down with milk. Dude, I tried that for a little bit. I got like super, I don't want to say fat, but I got like pretty
pudgy.
Yeah, like I've never been, I guess,
fluffy.
fat, but I was soft.
Yeah.
I looked large, but like I was just soft.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I doubt it was like actual quality tissue. I feel like it was just fat.
How did you feel?
Not great. I was force feeding myself. I've done that quite a few times over the past, I don't know, 7 years.
Yeah.
Like going through periods of like, dude, I'm gonna gain some weight, so I'll force feed myself, and it's.
I feel like there's a difference between force feeding yourself like a lot of calories and like the Go Mad diet, though. You know what I mean?
I didn't do the Go Mad diet.
Well, sure.
Yeah, I did something similar. Like,
oh,
yeah. No, I didn't.
I thought you said you tried.
No. No, I would like eat peanut butter out of the like spoon.
Yeah.
A spoonful of peanut butter, and then wash it down with milk. So, like that, but.
Gotcha.
Less hardcore.
Painful.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically. The article goes into a lot of like specific details, like they found police in Deltona reported that other teens in the city were going on Orbeez shooting spree. 2 people were hit by pellets fired from a van that took off after shooting.
Dude, no way.
Yeah, pellets broke the skin and left red welts. I would not have expected.
It's like a paintball gun.
I mean, I guess so. At like a fast speed, that would do some serious damage.
Yeah, dude, have you ever seen those videos on YouTube that's like, what would a needle do moving at the speed of light when it hits the earth? Have you seen those?
No, I haven't seen those.
They're so crazy. They're pretty interesting to watch, but
I have to take a look at it.
Anyway, that reminds me of that. Like, what would an Orbeez do to the earth if it was moving at the speed of light and it was able to get through the atmosphere or something?
Yeah, damn, that'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting.
Of course, impossible, but
yeah,
all of them every single time is like it would destroy the earth, and then it's like all right, and then it take like 12 minutes to explain the fact that it would destroy the earth.
Going through a bunch of like science that would never happen.
Yeah.
That's
interesting though.
Do you want to hear about
Yeah, just briefly mention the Uber thing. I'm interested.
Yeah, I mean, Uber, hit by driver shortages and a surge in food delivery requests during the pandemic, will list New York City taxi cabs on its app.
During the pandemic? Are we still during the pandemic? Is that insensitive of me to say?
I mean, this article was today, so that
Oh
is
my
what
God.
they're referencing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't live in New York.
I mean,
Everything's
that's a fair
pretty
point.
normal around here.
Yeah, and so in the
The
Carolinas.
Carolinas, it's super normal. Like
Yeah.
everything's like schools are maskless, at least where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So maybe they're like still
Relatively
semi
locked
lockdown
down.
or quasi lockdown. I don't know, but
Maybe not locked down, but maybe the culture is more like staying inside and ordering in. And...
Also, I think Uber, I don't know, but probably Uber is like, hey, make all this money with our app, and then people do it, and one, they make like not that much, and then two, they have to pay for, they don't like pay you gas, they don't pay you mileage back, so you have to pay for your own gas.
Yeah,
gas prices are going up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't know, maybe that's why.
Yeah,
but it makes a lot of sense why taxi drivers would be listed on there.
Yeah, I wanted to ask like your opinion of it because like the gig economy, is that what it's called? Like the
like freelance
Uber economy. And Lyft and like Postmates and like all these like you log onto the app and then you decide you work whenever you want. Like how do you feel about that when it comes to like comparing that to like taxi driver? Do you think it's a good thing that Uber exists and Lyft exists?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Yeah, overall, I think I don't know all the details, but with taxi driving, there's at least some red tape that you have to cross, where it's like, oh, you have to get this really expensive taxi license, and then like a lot of these taxi drivers, I remember hearing some anecdote. I think I was in college of like, it's so expensive to get this taxi license, and then these dudes or ladies are in debt because they had to buy this taxi license and then take this specific course and then take this little certification thing that they don't really make a profit until like years down the road.
Dang,
which is not all that different than like college, but it's a lot of responsibility to be a taxi driver.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I understand, I think, why it is, because all these issues with Uber, like, of course it's way more rare than the news makes it seem, but like someone getting shot or something like that, or somebody getting kidnapped or something crazy horrible. Do you remember the last time you read an article where it was like, taxi driver shoots someone in the face? No, bro. No, like,
absolutely not.
You know what I mean? So it seems like the red tape is important for that reason. But
don't they do like background checks?
They do, but I mean, a background check doesn't mean you're not going to be
that's
crazy
true.
In the future. But I'm sure a taxi driver gets a background check too.
Yeah, but that's probably the extent, right? Like that's the screening.
Probably. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's good for the world, though.
I think it is too.
I think gig economy is probably the way that the world is going to go over the next 100 years anyway.
Yeah.
Like, people are, not to put my tinfoil hat on, but people are probably going to be chilling at their house or have an office away from home that's either with a company or you just rent it from some real estate firm.
Yeah.
And that, like, what is it, WeWork?
Yeah, WeWork.
Something like WeWork.
It's like a rentable office space kind of thing.
Yeah, or there's a bunch of other ones. So it'll be something like that, where if you need to get away from the house because, like, you have kids and you have to isolate yourself in some way. But regardless, I think you're going to, like, sign on to an app, like Upwork or Fiverr, something similar to that. I'm sure it'll be different companies by then.
Right.
It'll
probably be like a platform, too.
Yeah, it'll be a whole platform. Yeah. And then you get, like, a rating on there, and they pay you through that. Everything's handled through that thing. I think that's how it's going to go, which is one of the reasons why we do what we do. Right. And why we built what we built. Because we believe that that's what's going to be the thing. And it's super convenient. I
mean, when you look at, like, specifically with music and stuff like that, it's like people used to get lessons through a music studio. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was younger and I took guitar lessons, it was like you go to the music studio down the street and then they handled everything.
Yeah.
And then there was a period of time where I feel like music studios were less common and it was more like you just had to find the right person.
I mean, I think so too. At least in my experience, because I went to a music studio.
Yeah.
I worked with a music studio.
You taught at a music studio.
And then now it's like they had to shut it down. And that was the whole reason for me wanting to start up Cloud Music Suite.
Right.
Like, I don't want that to have to be a thing.
Yeah.
I was like thinking for so long, there's got to be a way to optimize that. I think that's the way to optimize it. Yeah. And I think that's the way the world's going anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions about, like, the gig economy and, like, whether or not it's a good thing because it's like...
It's the best thing.
I think it is too.
It's gonna tear down the system.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that it's competitive for taxi drivers or it's competitive for like, Domino's delivery drivers or something like that. But I feel like I don't know.
I feel like those same people are the ones that would say, "Oh yeah, well, there's so and so is just doing it for corporate profit, and that's the other reason."
Right.
And they would be frustrated about corporate profit. But what's Domino's? What's Uber? What are these? I don't know if a taxi network is a.
I'm sure there
I have no idea.
are some taxi
I can imagine there's probably
companies,
taxi
right?
networks that are corporations.
Right.
Domino's is a corporation. That dude's working for a corporation. So I don't know. I think going out and getting it on your own is such an important thing for everyone to learn that that's a possibility. And I always got, I don't know, like I don't want to say dumped on, but like belittled for like wanting to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And not work for like the man.
Yeah.
I want to be able to make money on my own. That's super powerful.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It's freeing.
And so so often it would be like, oh well, you don't have a real job. That's not a real job. I thought it was I think that's like the realest job.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Going out and basically selling your own goods and services.
Well, at
That's
that
what
point,
you
it's
do to an employer
arguably
anyway.
not even. It's not a job at that point, right? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a job is like, you're being given an opportunity by somebody who's higher up, and the job is like it's not fun to you. It's just a job. You know what
Yeah, I mean, I
Versus
feel like most jobs end up being just a job.
Yeah, but if you're doing your own thing, I mean, typically means that you're passionate about something.
Yeah.
Ideally, I mean.
I mean, hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully.
you spent enough time to get a certain set of skills, and you probably liked that thing in order to stick with it for that long amount of time, in order to get that certain amount of skills, or a certain level of skill.
Yeah.
So that you could provide somebody else with some kind of value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think value creation is good.
I agree.
And I think that's what happens in the gig economy. Maybe not like, well, yeah, I'll stop there before I offend somebody. Yeah, value creation is what the gig economy is about. And if you didn't create value for that person, they're not going to hire you again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think overall it's a good thing for society.
For sure.
That's all I'll say on that.
Speaking,
we kind of went really far on that.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But speaking of, Uber and gas prices rising.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, we saw an article today that I actually have it up on my iPad. I can just
shout him out.
I could just read the name of this article.
Shout him out. Who sent it to us?
Who?
Yeah.
Oh, this one is from Michael Walters.
My baby.
You're the man, if you're watching. Stimulus checks for high gas prices. Here's how it could happen.
Oh my god.
Is the name of this article. I don't know
Dude,
if this is
the
the
picture
one
of
that
it was
he
like a gas pump with just dollar bills coming out of it. So funny. I was like, oh
It's
no.
that's pretty crazy. I mean,
I am very against it.
I am also very
against it.
It's
Yeah,
pretty,
it said $300 stimulus check.
yes.
What, monthly or something like that?
Yes,
For
specifically for
rising
gas.
prices. What do you have to? Is it like a, dude? This is so not America. So not America. This is literally you're given like a ration.
Yeah.
Especially if you only have to spend it on gas. Which, if you don't only have to spend it on gas, one, hyperinflation probably. Number two, that money might just go into the market, like the financial markets. Like people will just be like, oh, I can just
Invest this.
invest this.
You're right.
Most people are doing like another GameStop type situation that ended up
yeah.
occurring where
Wall Street bets.
yeah, everyone just had way too much extra money sitting around because the Fed flooded the market with money when most people, let's be clear and serious, most people did not need it. Some people were in dire situations.
Yes.
And I'm not going to deny that. But
it was probably helpful for a lot of
need
people.
the stimulus checks? No, bro.
No.
Like, I know a lot of people who got them and didn't really need them. Like, they would have been perfectly fine without them.
It wasn't like properly allocated in any way,
No.
shape, or form. It was just allocated.
Let's just
period.
slosh money out there to everybody. Yeah. And then, dude, like Louis Vuitton, when that happened, was their new release would be the price of the stimulus check that just got announced. So you remember there was like a $1,400 stimulus check?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Louis Vuitton and like Gucci and all these like
No
design.
way.
Yeah, dude.
I did not know
these
this.
These designer. I heard about this whole thing, and yeah, they would like drop new releases right when stimulus checks started to hit the accounts that were worth, just under the stimulus check, like $1,200 or $1,300 or even $1,400, and they got like mad sales from it.
Dang.
Yeah. Pretty broken.
That is pretty broken.
But if they go the other way and they say, no, it's only for gas, dude, that is literally
It's
a
like
ration.
almost like food stamps.
That's
but
a ration.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, you get to spend $300 a month on gas. Would it make it better on some people in the short term in some type of way, yes.
Probably.
But where are we looking? Are we looking 6 months down the road, or are we looking 10 years down the road?
Yeah.
I think we should be looking 10 years down the road, especially if we're talking about people's financial future.
Yeah. Especially when you're considering, I mean, I don't know how they're going to allocate it, but if it's anything like the regular stimulus checks, if everyone's just getting $300 a month.
Pop into your bank account?
Dude.
It felt so fake when I just like opened up my bank app and I was like, what? Oh, yeah, the government just paid me free money. Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
And then meanwhile, inflation's at like record all-time highs.
Yeah.
With a CPI, we don't need to get into this right now, but yeah, I'll just stop. Okay, CPI is Consumer Price Index.
Yeah.
You know what that is? Okay,
Yep.
There's this thing, instead of doing home prices and rental, like actual rental, they do this thing called owner's equivalent rent. So they'll ask an owner, hey, what do you think your house would rent for? Do you think the average homeowner knows anything about the rental market in their area? No, dude. Like if they asked, I don't know, I could go around this neighborhood, I would get some bonkers answers. Some that are crazy low.
And some
because
that are probably
it's not like
high,
most people are going to be like, oh, my house is the best house in the world.
Right.
I would charge $4,000 a month and I'd get that easy.
Yeah.
People aren't going to say that. So they're either like way too high, way too low. Why don't we just take the home price appreciation as one line item in the CPI and then actual rent?
Yeah, like actual rentable
Like
property.
the rent that you're really paying to rent a house.
Yeah.
Not owner's equivalent rent. Yeah, if anyone wants to know more about that, if you're interested at all, you should look up owner's equivalent rent CPI. It's so weird. And there's a few other things that are like that too. But yeah, so that's the inflation readings we're getting, and they're just ridiculously high.
Super like false recording.
Yeah. even with the false recording, and they're just crazy high.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know, man.
that too.
And then some people will be like, oh, well, just take food and energy out, and then inflation's not that bad. What do you mean? Take food and energy, bro? Okay, we live in the first world, so, I don't know, electricity, heating, air, like, we like these things, right?
Yeah.
No, those are not necessarily necessities, but food,
You can't take
food out of the CPI.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's...
Anyway, I think
Economics
it's a
is a very...
horrible idea.
Economics is a very, very weird numbers game.
Yeah.
It's just like fudging like how we record things
Yep.
just to make things look a particular way.
Yeah, and the way that we do it now is Keynesian economics, where it's like, you should print money, or quantitative easing is what they call it.
Yeah.
That's a fancy way to say increase the money supply.
Right.
If you're increasing the money supply, what are you doing to the money supply? Inflating the money supply. That's inherently inflation.
Right.
And they have this like 2% target a year. I don't know. I agree with the Peter Schiff way of thinking, where it's like, it would be ideal if we got deflation for a little while.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
We're going too far into that too.
It is what it is. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Literally right before we started recording this, we saw that article title and it was like...
Yeah, what was my response to it? I said, oh my God, if America goes down this inescapable path, we are so screwed.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is an inescapable path.
Yes.
Because...
it's just an endless cycle.
Yeah, what happens is, whatever political party decides to do that, don't get it twisted. They're doing it so they can keep their job.
Right.
At least, if not 100%, there is a percentage of that is a reason.
Yeah.
And it's
probably a pretty damn high percentage.
No one's going to, convince me otherwise. It's got to be a reason they keep their job. And then, how do they keep their job? By people voting. So are you going to bite the hand that feeds you? If you're getting $300 a month, every month, for the purposes of gas or whatever, are you going to bite the hand that feeds you and say, no, I don't really want to stay with this political party. I'll go to the other political party who's saying the exact opposite. They're saying, no, this is bad for the long-term future of America. Does the average voter care about the long-term future of America?
They're not thinking about that.
Probably not. They're like, oh man, my life was easier under this administration, which is respectable. That's a respectable view.
Yeah,
I understand it, but it's very near term.
Some people don't have time to think about those things. Sometimes they need to pay gas to go to work. But
I mean, I know it would help some people, but it's just a bad idea.
Yes, for the long term. 100%.
There are better ways to help people, like lowering taxes. But anyway,
little tidbits. Yeah, I mean, those are the articles I had, and we went down the...
I'm talking too much, man. You need to talk.
I mean, I don't know. What else was on the list that we were...
other things on the list. You want to talk about podcast plans? We're going to talk about plans for the podcast, so we don't want to just rant on random topics forever. Although that'll be most of it.
I mean, that is the podcast,
That is
right?
the podcast.
So, yeah, I mean, we're on episode number 8, and we're coming pretty close to double digits, which is pretty exciting.
Very exciting.
We hope you enjoy it. Comment, like, share it with your friends.
If someone that's watching right now that hasn't commented on a single video, I guarantee it.
Do it.
Comment on this one.
Just something.
Just this one. You can say, hey. Say, hey, Sean.
Yeah.
And then put a winky face, because he's so cute.
And I'll wink back. I'll respond and I'll wink back.
Yeah, I've been responding to every comment, so... Or I meant to say. We've been responding to every comment.
Channel.
Yeah, our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah, so what does that mean once we get to, double digits? Well, for one, we're going to probably start having more people on, right?
Yeah.
We have a couple of people lined up that we want to bring on. Some really close friends, some people we work closely with. It should be good. I think they're all people that everybody who's listening right now would love to hear from on our podcast.
I think so too.
So, yeah, that's something to look forward to. There's something else, wasn't there? I'm looking.
Meme review,
that's
we
right.
want to do like, this is not set in stone or anything like that.
It's just an idea.
Yeah, plans are like, we want to do the podcast once a week, and it's just, number 7, number 6, number whatever, number 15, number 585 one of these days. And then, like, other half of the week, we'll do like a meme review or something's just random of just us kind of chatting on a specific thing that's like a shorter video, maybe like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
See if we can make them shorter. And then we just like, hopefully people send us memes. That would be ideal. And then we just review the memes. We give them like a 10, a scale 1 to 10 or something like that. Or like videos, a little react video of something that we saw that's just like ridiculously hilarious where I got to show the other dude.
Yeah, I think like for now the best thing is if you have something that you want us to take a look at, a video, a meme, a picture, something, put it in the comments. Eventually we might, make some kind of community. I don't know.
That'd be great.
Like a Discord community or Reddit, a subreddit or something where you can share your memes and we'll take a look at that. But, yeah.
And we'll review them. So if you make memes, even better.
Ooh, that's a good idea too, yeah.
We'll just roast your memes.
Exactly.
I've always liked those funny things where it's like, send me your like worst story or like your most cringy story, and then I'll like react to it. Like Noel Miller does that.
That's so pretty good.
It's so funny, dude.
Like we should have we could have something too where like people call in.
That'd be great.
People like come into like, we can give like a Skype link out or something, or like
that'd be awesome.
A Google Meet link, and people can join in and
tell their story.
Yeah, they can ask a question, or you can give advice or something.
That'd be great. Bad advice only.
Right, yeah. Like not actual advice. Just give us like a situation, and we'll tell you what we would do in that situation, which might be pretty funny.
Might be hilarious. Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be cool. But that's what you can look forward to.
Yeah.
With your best friend's podcast.
I also read something that was like, some small percentage of podcasts get past their 3rd episode. And then a really, really, really small percentage get past their 10th episode. And then a really, really extremely small percentage, I don't know. I wish I had the numbers in front of me, but it was probably BS, but it was interesting to look at anyway. It was like 1% get past 21 episodes.
Dang, really?
So if you get 22 episodes,
you're in the
you
top 1%.
are in the top 1% of longevity in terms of podcasts.
Dang.
So, and like we said on the last one,
we're in it for the long haul.
Sean and I are long gamers, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're long gamers and we're here.
That's right. Oh, also, we're officially on Spotify.
Oh, dude, I forgot.
Yeah. So I think we briefly mentioned last week that's something that we wanted to, or last episode rather, that's something that we wanted to do. We are officially on Spotify. I'm going to put a link in the description to our Spotify, but it's Your Best Friends on Spotify. All the episodes are up there, audio only. So if you're, making a drive somewhere and you can't watch the video, you can always listen to the audio on Spotify.
That's exactly right. Or if you have YouTube Premium, you can already do that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
But that's super expensive. I think it's like, I don't know, something crazy.
Well, I mean, you get a lot of things with it, right? It's kind of like Hulu, where you can get like live.
I think it's YouTube TV.
Oh, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty nice to be able to listen to
It would be nice.
any YouTube video.
That'd be great.
I feel like a lot of YouTube videos are audio. They could be an audio video.
I hardly watch the screen when I'm watching. Even if it's like, oh, if someone says like, check it out on the screen right now, I'm like, nah, bro.
I'm doing something else.
I just want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah,
exactly. Washing the dishes or something.
Yeah.
All right. You want to wrap it up with 3 books to read? Top 3 books or something like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So we'll go back and forth. Are you feeling inspired to go first?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. He's feeling inspired.
I got a good one. I have, so they're all of mine are like self-help related. I think you said that.
Yeah. We can keep them self-help related.
Yeah. I kind of like my list. It's good. It kind of goes all over the place. It kind of goes, I'll just let them explain themselves. So the first one is the book. Oh man, I need to pull them up so I can get like the author.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
But the first book that I would recommend that I think everyone should read is The Power of Now.
Oh dude, that was a potential of mine.
A potential of yours?
Yeah, by Eckhart Tolle.
Yes, that's right.
Eckhart Tolle.
Have you read it?
I have not, but I've listened to the audiobook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't really like his voice, so I should read it in my own voice so I can hear it in my own head. But...
I would recommend it. It's the way that it's laid out is like, obviously it has like chapters like most books do, but he has specific points, like breaks in a like paragraph where he'll put like a little symbol, and when you meet that symbol you're supposed to put the book down and walk away and like think about whatever, like resonate with the last paragraph.
So respectable.
It is very respectable. It's basically a spiritual book about recognizing your ego and recognizing the self and being able to disidentify with time itself, because people on a day-to-day, we kind of briefly talked about this last week, but people on a day-to-day basis will like get caught up in the future and get really anxious, or they'll get caught up in the past and get very depressed.
That has happened. I've gotten caught in the future a lot lately.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And this book kind of reminds you to like, check in with the now and disidentify with all of the past and the present and the labels that you put on yourself, and that's where you're going to find true fulfillment and happiness.
Yeah.
And,
Side note, that guy is a master marketer.
Really? I don't really know much about his marketing.
Dude, he's there's this guy named Elliot Hulse who is very controversial, and he used to talk about Eckhart Tolle back in the day. If anyone knows Elliot Hulse, drop it in the comments. He's very niche now. Yeah. But he used to be pretty dang big on YouTube in the early days. And yeah, he would always say like, everyone has their own brand of bullshit. And it's like, it's pretty humbling to me. It's kind of like nihilistic. Yeah. Like it's all like what's the purpose? But anyway, and he was like, he used Eckhart Tolle as an example. How like he's literally seen as like a messiah of the now. Yeah. But he's really just a beastly marketer. Like yes, what he's saying is true. Yeah. But in order to like is he making money from that? Of course. Yeah, of course he is. It's not like he's completely disassociating from the ego. Yeah. That's true. So he's very much an achiever. Yeah. In life, there's an argument that says if you create value, then you will achieve inherently. But that's probably what he's doing. Right. I would say that that's more accurate. But anyway, that's a really good pick. Yeah. I definitely recommend that one. That's my number one. Dang, number one. Yeah. You're rating them. I'm not gonna go in any particular order because the first one I have is like super random. But I'm gonna say it anyway because I think everyone could benefit from it. I would say this is number one, but the other ones aren't. There's not a specific order. They're both pretty. The other two are pretty damn important. But I think this one is like. It's a good reminder, of things that we don't think about on a day-to-day basis. I like that one a lot. I'll do my first one, and it's not like. I'll just say it. Paul Chek. How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. It's like very informational, but a lot of the stuff he talks about in there is like super low-hanging fruit. So it can get people who are, I'll just say like really far off center in terms of like how they're treating themselves, kind of closer to where they could make like small optimizations. Like what he's talking about in there is like pretty big stuff, but it would be probably relatively easy to make a change in the positive direction based on what he's talking about. Okay. Some of the stuff gets really specific, like he's got like specific exercises to do for like a little like lightweight training program kind of thing. Yeah, sort of. But it's like got specific like diagrams. It's like beautiful stuff. That's not my favorite part of the book. My favorite part of the book is about like diet and sleep and your brain and how to approach like day-to-day living without hating yourself. And what kind of like diet does he advocate for, just out of curiosity? It is very interesting. There's kind of like 3 that he goes for, and it's like if you're this type, he suggests a certain macronutrient difference, so like protein, fat, carb. If you're this type of person, you do this. If you're that type of person, you do that. And it's kind of like he has like this little checklist for like what type of person you are. I like that. Yeah. Because like everybody's no, there's no one diet
fits all.
And it's
approach.
very clear that it's like, hey, there's not one single diet, and there's not one single diet even for one person throughout the course of their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to change. It should change.
That your needs are going to change over your lifetime.
Yeah, like if you're extremely active, you're probably going to have a higher protein requirement, probably a slightly higher carb requirement than someone who's like in their, I don't want to give an age range, but yeah, like sitting at a desk job is only able to kind of just walk twice a week or something.
Yeah.
That person requires a lot less calories, number one, and requires different macronutrients.
Yeah.
Like it would probably be ideal for them to be on the high fat side of things,
Right.
and probably like intermittent fast and stuff. And then someone who's super active, he suggests more carb, more protein, because you're ripping down tissue, got to rebuild the tissue somehow. So
Makes sense.
yeah, that's his general diet stuff. And then other things like, I'm sure this is controversial, but it came to my head, like, don't microwave your food. If at all possible, you shouldn't microwave your food.
Yeah.
Yes, controversial, but anyway.
I definitely do. I mean,
I've gone through periods where I haven't. I've gone through periods where I do. I don't know.
I mean, there's definitely probably truth to it. Probably what's the claim? Like it breaks down the nutrients.
Denatures enzymes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty important.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Pretty important.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd microwave my food.
Yeah.
Damn, sounds good. Eat, sleep, and be healthy.
How to wait. My brain.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It was really close. That's why it messed with me. How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy.
How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy.
By Paul Chek. How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It is a good one. It's pretty cheap too. It's a good book.
Nice.
Hits so many different things.
Nice. I've definitely read books that are similar, but I might have to pick that one up.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. Oh, but this is a sidebar. Are you a audiobook kind of guy or a read a book kind of guy?
Depends.
Or both? Yeah.
It depends on the book.
Nice.
If I know it's going to be like really long and that I don't really want to read for like long periods of time,
then you can pick up an audiobook.
Yeah, I would just do audiobook so I can just listen while I drive or listen while I do whatever.
Yeah.
For short periods of time. Like the Power of Now is like that. Like I just want little nuggets here and there.
Audiobooks are good for like running, I feel like.
I don't
just
run.
like get into like a meditative state.
Do you run?
Not often, but sometimes.
I don't run.
I don't know. I do like it. I like the runner's high that you get. You know what I mean? I like feeling refreshed after some running.
I don't.
Okay, my next book is the first one I went down the spirituality route.
Mm-hmm.
This one is going to be more of the like day-to-day habits route, and that is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Have you ever read this book?
I have not read this book. I've heard a lot about it though.
This is a good book. I mean, a lot of other books touch on a lot of the same stuff, but I like this book particularly because it gives you very actionable steps to start integrating habits into your daily life without, he kind of breaks it down into a science versus just like, go into the mirror and talk yourself up. You know what I mean? Like there's that side of things, which is important, but like, Atomic Habits like breaks things down into like actionable things that you can do, such as like
pragmatic.
Yeah, like one of the things that he talks about is like habit chaining, and it's like you take a habit that you do every day, right? Me and you drink coffee every day, and let's say something that we want to do is meditate every day. Yeah. He'll say like, okay, once you get done drinking coffee, you should meditate. You should take one habit that you undoubtedly do every day, and then you should tack a habit on after that. And,
yeah. How old is this book? I'm curious. Like, do you know what year it was published? Because I remember when I was...
2018.
Yeah, dude. Okay. That research is so old. Like, I'm glad he made this book, and it's changed a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
But I always think it's funny that, like, books a lot of times are just, like, resurfacing similar information that is in all these other books.
Yeah.
And it just gets put into this new book.
Yeah.
What's good about that is I think that the distillation of the right idea and like the best practice for a particular thing happens over time. So it gets distilled.
Sift through the stuff that is less.
Like I'm sure if you read like I don't know some kind of spiritual book 800 years ago, there would probably be things in there that are not very fruitful.
Yeah.
For the day-to-day life, as if you read it today, like The Power of Now. Although
it's
Power
probably
of
denser too.
Probably way denser back then. Yeah, it's not as concise and actionable and pragmatic.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so interesting because I think if I remember correctly, there's this book called The New Science of Learning, and I first heard about it in that book. Yeah, and some doctors at UNCC wrote this book. But anyway,
there's a book I want to read called Ultra Learning. that also mentions this book in it, I believe.
Who
But
is it by?
I don't know.
Some
I can
guy.
pull that up. Some
While
guy.
While you pull it up, I'm gonna do my second one.
Let's
My
hear it.
second one is it's kind of Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think this is for everyone to read, right? I think everyone should read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
By
Because-
Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah. So he's also a controversial guy, but I think his book does a good job of illustrating a point that I think everyone should like change the mindset around, and it's that your primary goal with your income is to buy you something that produces income or appreciates over time. So yes, that's super basic, and yes, it gets memeified, but it's so true.
It's very powerful.
Like if you're not buying something that's going to produce you more money, then you're going to be in the rat race. You're going to be in the hamster wheel no matter what. And I feel like only a certain subset and a certain age of people understand this. And if people just understood it 2 years earlier, 3 years earlier,
Makes
10
the
years
world
earlier,
difference.
holy Christ, power of compounding is going to be ridiculous on your side. So I think everyone should read it. I feel like it should be a required book in high school, is that. And then I think another thing in high school, you should like force kids to play around with the compounding calculator.
Yes,
Dude,
100%.
just play around with one. If you haven't done this, if you're on the podcast, if you haven't just played around with compound calculator, you go to investor.gov and just look up investor.gov compounding calculator. It'll be the first thing that comes up. Just mess around with it and like see how many years and what contribution you could do and what percent return you're going to have and the amount of money you'll have. It's going to blow your mind.
It's pretty inspiring. Like
It is
that's like
extremely
seeing those
inspiring.
numbers on a screen like made me want to go like get more financially literate and
Yeah.
understand like what's going on.
Yeah.
That was my third book.
No way!
Yeah,
No
dude.
way!
I told you right before we started. I said I bet we're gonna have.
We
one
almost
of the
had
same
two
book.
of the same.
You almost chose the Power
I
of
was thinking
Now.
about Power of Now, but I decided not to because I have not read it. I only listened to it.
Yeah.
So I felt wrong doing that.
Yeah, I was gonna do Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert
Dude.
Kiyosaki. I think that one. I was gonna. That's what I was saying. Is like I kind of went on all routes. Right. I had the spiritual. I had
I had
the
the
day-to-day habits one, and then I
workflow.
had the
Yeah.
financial.
Wow. That mean, dude, you had the now, you had the you had the spiritual, you had the now, and then you had like the long term, or you had the now, the short term, and the long term.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. By the way, Ultra Learning was written by Scott Young. Scott H.
Yeah, that's my boy, Scott.
That's the dog.
That's my man, Mr. Young. No, I don't know Scott Young. I'm lying.
Master hard skills, outsmart, and then it cut it off. But the name of the book.
Outsmart. ...
Outsmart
Outsmart Centaurs.
Centaurs.
Flashback.
To
Throwback?
episode,
No, throwback to our
Throwback.
other episode.
4, 5,
Yes, something
somewhere
like
around
that.
there.
Go back to the other episodes. If you haven't watched the other ones, go watch some other ones.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, that's Ultra Learning. That's on my list of ones to read. But yes. Rich
So
Dad,
I
Poor
already
Dad.
stole your number 3.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's hear your number 3.
I'm gonna go with. Oh man, I forgot my third. Hold on. What did I say for my first one? I can't remember. How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy.
Yes.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
While you think about it, I do have an unofficial third one to make it different from Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with an unofficial fourth because I can't remember my third. I know I had it, and then what is wrong with me?
I have no idea.
I don't know. My brain-
It'll come to you.
I'm too hungry, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I guess it's not that important for people to read.
Guess not.
If I forgot about
Can't
it.
remember it. It'll come to you, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I think everyone should read
Yeah,
this."
you're right. I'll post it in the comments if I remember.
My like unofficial third one, or I guess fourth one, is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Dude, by what's his name? Mark something?
Mark Manson.
Mark, I think that's right.
I think so. The Subtle Art.
That's a great one because it's like all about nihilism and basically the notion that like nothing matters anyway, so why not enjoy what you're doing and stop deciding that you need to be in the rat race.
It also really gets what it got into my brain was this idea of like you're not special. You know what I mean? It was a very, very harsh reality of like your feelings of anxiety and stress are like not unique. You know what I mean?
So true.
Like
We were talking about that. Like it's
yeah.
so comforting to me. I'm like, oh yeah,
Everybody's
I'm
going
not
through this.
alone. Like
Yeah.
I'm so not special. I'm so not unique in these like anxious moments. Like there's so many people feeling this right now.
Yeah.
And then it just soothes me.
Yeah. It's like comforting.
Yeah.
It's very nice. That's what I learned from that book. I think it's a pretty important lesson, and yeah, I recommend that one.
For anyone who gets anxious a lot or depressed a lot, I think two most powerful things I ever heard in my whole life that I was able to apply to myself is one, don't identify with being an anxious person or a depressed person. Be yourself that happens to experience anxiety from time to time.
Yes.
Or happens to experience depression or depressive episodes from time to time. Detaching the two was probably the most transformative thing for me. I didn't even know that I wouldn't tell someone, yeah, I'm an anxious guy. I wouldn't tell someone that. But if they said, well, what's your tendency? I'd say to be anxious. But my tendency is to experience anxiety. It sounds so like a little nuance. Very transformative for me.
Yes, very
And then
huge.
the second thing was to turn the mirror around and say, let me actually look at myself and see what's really going on. Rather than it's so heady and you're trying to analyze at least for me, when I'm in an anxious state. I'm so much of it in an analyzing state of all these other things around me. But I just need to turn the mirror around and then it's oh, everything just disappeared. I'm okay. Everything's fine.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Turn a mirror on the problem and it just dissolves.
Yeah, that's a good one. I haven't heard that one, but
works for me.
It makes sense. Yeah, I especially identify with that first thing, or not identify, however you want to say it. But
it resonates with you. It resonates with you.
Yes, it resonates with me because I remember the moment that anxiety started to affect me a lot.
I remember too.
And identifying it is something. Yeah, identifying with it is something that I definitely did 100%, and I still, have anxious tendencies, but I'm not an anxious person. I don't feel that way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just something that I, have from time to time, and everybody does, and that's comforting.
That just is what it is.
It is what it is.
I'm gonna make my third not what it was gonna be. I'm gonna say my third, but this is it clearly wasn't that important. Okay, I'm just thinking of books that I thought were amazing. This is only for someone who thinks that the stock market is a good way to accumulate and preserve wealth. One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. And he talks through the idea that smart money, which is hedge funds and private money funds and all these different money management firms who manage money on other people's behalves, billions, trillions of dollars of assets under management, are actually dumb, and that this dumb money, which is what they call it, is just the retail investor, not someone who buys retail products, but that's the term they use for you and I.
Yeah.
When I buy stocks, they say, oh, retail is buying stocks. They don't care about me, but you know what I mean?
Right.
The accumulation of all the people who decided to sell, they have all the data for, was this a retail investor or was this an institutional investor?
Yeah.
Anyway, he walks through hey, you have a lot of advantages on Wall Street. When you compare yourself to Wall Street. You can see trends far before these guys. You think these guys who have trillions of dollars of assets under management, or more likely billions of dollars of assets under management, who are making the fee off that, you think they're going out and driving around to see how many new Dunkin' Donuts franchises are popping up in your area? So that's his number one best investment of all time, was Dunkin' Donuts. Is that a sexy stock? No. But he made thousands of % return on that stock. And thousands of % return, for anyone who doesn't know, is bonkers.
Huge, yeah.
Bonkers, crazy.
And that's just from recognizing that.
He literally went to Dunkin' Donuts and he was like, "This is a good product. I respect this product. I enjoy this product." So he started going more, and then it's oh, there's another franchise down the street. Oh, there's another franchise down here. Wow. Oh, they're expanding their product categories. Ooh, they're raising prices a little bit. Man, I bet that profit margin is going to go up. So yeah, he saw with his own eyeballs that this company was expanding well before any Wall Street money was in. So then he has his ownership position built, and then Wall Street comes in and they just boost the stock price to the moon because they have tons of assets under management. It's nothing for them to boost up a $200, $300, $400 million market cap.
Yeah.
They flood $200 million into that. Dude, that thing's going to the To the moon, as they say.
As the kids say.
As the kids say, to the moon. Dude, have you noticed how much posture mirroring we've done this episode?
I haven't, but
I
I believe it.
I'm trying to not cuss. Like, there was one time, like, this happened, and then we like, both did this, and then just, like, 5 minutes ago, I, like, leaned forward, and you, like, leaned forward, and then a little bit after that, like, we both did this. So much posture mirroring happening.
I mean...
And, like, the arms on the chair versus, like, the arms here.
Dude, we talked about this, like, a couple podcasts ago. We were talking about how, like, something that, like, we say, like, we don't, when we're, like, over, like, a camera and, like, doing it virtually, like, we don't really feel the weight of what we're saying is affecting the other person. But when we're in person, like, I definitely feel
Dude,
it.
you're
And
right.
it's probably so obvious now, like, knowing who we are and watching, like, people who are, like, actively watching our podcast, they can definitely see that, like, the things that I say are affecting you and the things that you say are definitely affecting me, like, on a physical level.
Yeah, that was on the Metaverse episode. That's the most viewed episode
That's right.
so far. Yeah, it was on the Metaverse episode. I was like, dude, you just can't get that same human energy.
Connection, yeah.
Not to sound like woo-woo, but, like, there's a certain energy where if we were looking at each other like this, it's... Oh, God. He's making me choke. It's very different than if we were looking at each other through a computer screen.
Yeah.
Like, even just looking right here, this is just so different.
Yeah, it definitely
versus
is.
this right here.
Yeah.
Anyway, crazy
Pretty
stuff.
interesting. Pretty interesting to
Power
see
of
that.
now.
The power of now.
Yeah, buy those assets so they can make you more money, and then you can buy more assets with those assets. Anyway, all right, that's Rich Dad Poor Dad in a nutshell. What else?
No, not Rich Dad.
No, that was Rich
Oh,
Dad
wait,
Poor Dad in a
yeah,
nutshell.
that is.
Yeah,
That is.
no, sorry. Yeah, One
third
Up on
book.
Wall Street is basically you're smart, you can see with your own eyes before Wall Street can, you get in the stock, and then it's going to double, triple up over the next few years' time, and you're going to get handsomely rewarded for just using your eyeballs.
Yeah.
So that's the gist of One Up on Wall Street.
Sick.
Yeah.
Did you have a fourth one that you were going to say?
No, I forgot. I forgot my third one. It clearly is not important. So whoever's watching, I'm sure you're not mad, but my fourth one, there's no way it was that important if I forgot it.
Oh, there you go.
No way.
That is okay.
Yeah.
It'll come to you later, and you'll be like, I mean,
I'll text you.
it's fine. We'll mention it another time.
Yes.
But,
Nice.
yeah. Should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
Awesome.
It's been your best friends. Oh, I forgot. Let me restart. Let's wrap it up. We don't edit anything, so we're not going to edit that out. But anyway, yeah, it's your best friends. It's Austin.
It's Sean.
Yeah, and we did it. That was episode number 8.
Yep. No, we didn't get a visit from Podcat this time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Yeah, we had to close the door.
Yeah.
So
So
podcast visit.
hopefully next time. But
Yep. All right.
thank you guys for listening. See you next time.